We are HTLA Radio 1. You will lower your shields and prepare to be boarded. We will add your distinctiveness, your advertisers, and your sponsors to our own. Resistance is futile.
This program is intended for mature audiences only. If you have any homicidal or suicidal feelings, please consult a doctor before listening to this program.
Yeah. Here we go. Good afternoon, coffee goers. Yes, welcome to HTLA's lovely. Yes, it's lovely, gotta say. Ain't nothing but lovely around here. Coffee and cigarettes. That's right. That's what you got tuned to today. I got everything for you all today. Yes, I brought everything. Yes, I'm not pissing around anymore. I brought everything. And everything will be brought. I've got everything from new Ebola to vacation boobs. Huh? Yeah. Vacation boobs, kids. Yeah, and as always, joining me live via satellite link from Mill Bay Studios in beautiful, beautiful Mill Bay, Canada, the one, the only, Louis Lawless.
I lived in Greenwich Village for a while when I first started out as an actor.
Yes, the actor and director extraordinaire Louis Lawless, live via satellite.
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, that may be true, but we'll just we'll just go with what we got. That's what we'll do. So Ebola, got a lot of Ebola, got vacation boobs. I just can't get over that. I'm very excited about the about the vacation boobs segment. Yes. So grab a cup of your finest there and light one up, and we'll get rolling here in just a few. Yes, well, thank you for joining us on Coffee and Cigarettes for this Thirsty Thursday. Yes, that's the title of today's show, because I'm just that cool and awesome. Yes, Thirsty Thursday, huh? Isn't that just a stroke of genius, Louis? Yeah. Anywho, welcome back to the show. Glad to see you. Good to have you here live at Spreaker.com. If you're wanting to check out the show and get in the old chat room and yell at me, that's always welcome. I enjoy yelling. It's, I don't know, I guess it's a hobby of mine, I guess. I feel loved when I'm getting yelled at because, you know, people wouldn't care if they weren't yelling at you. Isn't that right? Yeah. What do you think, kids? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. We brought the kids back over from Crash Talk because they were such a slap-bang hit there on our first episode this past Monday. And, yeah. Apologies, I guess, for yesterday's episode. Man, that kind of sucked. There was just nothing there. It was...
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Yeah, it was bad, Hudson. It was bad. But hey, today's a new day, and we got some pretty good stuff here for you today on the old Coffee and Cigarettes. So once again, grab a cup, light one up, and we'll get rolling here. Now, the big news in Ebola, and usually I don't, bother with Ebola because it's a fear joke and it's just not important. Why? Because we don't live in West Africa where it's important. Yeah, we just don't. But in Mali today, the World Health Organization officials say there are now 4 confirmed and probable Ebola deaths in Mali, adding to the complete death toll in that region of 5,000. Yes. And you see, here's my thought on it. If there was 5,000 dead and they're calling that an outbreak, even if that was, let's just say that patient 0 was in, I don't know, what's a good place? Dallas, Texas? Los Angeles? If there was 5,000 dead there, the cities would barely notice it. I would think. It's a pretty small number. But anywho, that is the now confirmed death toll, 5,000 for the entire region of northwestern Africa there. And but with these new deaths now, you just know there's going to be a rash of new retarded doctors who will decide that now is the time to hop on a plane and come home to New York City for the holidays. Yeah, what do you think about that, Louis?
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
That's right. And when they're at the airport, yeah, that's not going to be good.
I think it should be short and sweet.
It should be, but of course, if you've ever been in an airport lineup, it is anything but short and sweet.
That was a mistake on my part.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, there's your Ebola news, and I'm not going to sit around here and hang on it because it's what it is. Kind of stupid, and yeah, okay, 4 more people dead and 5,000 now total worldwide in the one region. Yeah. But the good news is that the CDC has actually cured Ebola patients here, according to them. So see, there's nothing to worry about. They'll just cure you if you get it. So where's the fear? God, I'd be more afraid of the cold coming. The nor'easter. Aye, laddie, the nor'easter. Yeah, it's coming too. The big chill, coast to coast, cold strikes USA. Yes, and some of my friends in Nebraska right now, they know who they are. They're suffering. Damn. Yeah, it's not looking good out there. Now, this isn't the usual cold snap coming before the lovely holidays, by the way. This kind of stuff usually happens in December, January, February. But to these extremes, not really happen much at all. Yeah, 100 years ago. Yeah, that's the last on record that it got as nasty as it's getting now. And I've got to do my obligatory shout-out here because I always forget. Tim Hortons New York City, now with 8 locations throughout the entire city to serve you well. And, well, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, Dunkin' Donuts, you're going the way of the dodo. Yes. Anyway, back to the big news about the coast to coast. Oh, my goodness, it's cold. Well, brace yourself, folks. The big chill that's covering most of the USA is here to stay, at least well into next week. We are locked into a below-normal weather pattern for at least the next week or so, perhaps even up to a 10-day time frame, says AccuWeather. Yeah. From a blizzard in Oregon, if you can believe it, Oregon, to Arctic cold in Denver, to lake effect snow in the Great Lakes and a hazard freeze along the Gulf Coast, 2/3 of the USA right now is enduring a freakish cold snap. And I'm still holding out here in the New York City with 48 degrees right now, partly cloudy in Central Park. It hasn't hit us yet. I thought for sure, Monday, Tuesday there, I was like, boy, that nor'easter gonna hit us by Thursday. But it hasn't yet. But it's going down. It's, a good 12 degrees colder than it was yesterday at this time. But so far, not too bad. Not too bad. Knock on wood, We don't want to We don't want to upset anybody anywhere. Well, not people, weather.
I lived in Greenwich Village for a while when I first started out as an actor.
Oh. Well, you're probably thanking your lucky stars that you're up in beautiful Mill Bay now and not worrying about the oncoming cold slaughter for New York City. Yes. In addition to all that joy, sleet and snow fell before dawn over portions of West and Middle Tennessee and in Memphis. Kids. Memphis. Kids. Yeah. Yeah, Elvis is freezing. A thin sheet of white covered the windshields of parked cars and left some on highways and overpasses in the city. Officially, the city picked up 0.1 inch of snow, the earliest the city has ever received snow, the National Weather Service has reported. Temperatures associated with the cold air mass will be 20 to near 40 degrees below average from the east of the Rockies to the Mississippi Valley. Residents in the Northwest should prepare for significant travel problems in the coming days, right through Friday, along Interstate 84 corridor in Oregon. Washington and Idaho, due to a storm, AccuWeather meteorologist Alex Sinoski calls highly unusual for this time of year. A blizzard warning is in effect for the Columbia River Gorge region between Oregon and Washington, where up to a foot of snow is forecast, and ferocious winds will whip up as high as 60 miles an hour. In Denver today, this morning, a low of minus 14 smashed the record for the date, set at minus 3 in 1916. Yeah, that comes as a day after the mile-high city's high temperature Wednesday reached just 6 degrees, a whopping 47 below the average high at this time of year of 53. Looking to escape the cold? Well, you might consider a trip to Barrow, Alaska. Temperatures in that tiny town on the edge of the Arctic Ocean reached a balmy 31 Wednesday, 24 degrees above the normal. But visitors should note one disclaimer. Barrow only has about 3 hours of daylight right now, and that only will decrease into total darkness as it descends for 2 months starting November 20th. The wild contrast in temperatures is actually related. The unusually curvy jet stream is pulling warm air into Alaska and the Arctic, chill down, into the 48 contiguous states. Elsewhere, morning lows plunged below zero Thursday across Montana, Wyoming, northeast and central Colorado, and the western parts of Kansas, Nebraska, and South Dakota. WeatherBug reported a minus 24 low temperature was recorded in Rawlins, Wyoming. Yeah, so brew up another hot pot and throw on a blankie here by the fire at the coffee shop here at Coffee and Cigarettes and just chill out with me. I wouldn't be going anywhere. Now, what are things like in the Deep South, you might ask? Well, in the Deep South along the Gulf Coast, freeze watches and warnings are in place all the way from Houston to Tallahassee. Temperatures could bottom out Thursday night in the 20s, which may kill crops and other sensitive plants. Yeah. So in addition to spending, probably $6 a gallon for gasoline this coming summer, you're probably going to be looking at $6 an orange. Yes.
That was a mistake on my part.
Okay. Well, you take the heat. You're Canadian. You can do that. Yeah, in northern Michigan, the additional snowfall was just piled on top of the 2 to 3 feet the region received from a huge snowstorm earlier in the week. Snow will also fly in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York State. Not good. I don't like this. Yeah, see, it's just not good. I don't like snow. God, wish there was something to heat up the snow. Well, Kim Kardashian's doing her part. What do you think about that? Kim Kardashian there, Lou?
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, that's about it? Yeah, because that is about it for Kim Kardashian, isn't it? Man, I wish she'd just, go and try and record an album or go and try and act in a movie or go and try and act on a TV show or... And no, don't even give me her reality shows. Don't go there. Are you kidding me? You can't. No, I'm sorry. You can't do that. I just do not know. I don't think ever in recorded history there has been someone still alive, because, Galileo and Copernicus, they certainly have their fame. But I don't think anybody living, with the possible exception of George Hamilton, perhaps, has gleaned so much fame from so little to no talent. Yeah. So, why Kardashian, you may ask? Well, I told you yesterday at the old coffee shop about Kardashian and her Paper magazine cover photo. Yes, the oiled up ass. In the photo, the reality star balances a champagne glass on her backside while popping a bottle of champagne, and the stream of champagne is going up over her head and landing right in the glass, like she could ever do that in a million years. Yeah, the photo is actually a recreation that a photographer, John Paul Gode, took of a nude black model as part of a 1982 book called, my favorite, Jungle Fever. The Grio.com columnist Blue Telemusa likens the photos to images of Sarjay Sarah Bartman, and the black South African woman brought to London in the 19th century and displayed for her large buttocks and genitalia. Bartman was on display even after her death. The body was dissected, and parts of her body were displayed in Paris Museum until the 1970s. That's kind of fitting, isn't it? Yeah, maybe we can chop up Kardashian and put her ass on display at some, I don't know, some museum or maybe a coffee shop. I don't know. What do you think?
I lived in Greenwich Village for a while when I first started out as an actor.
Yes, you did. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I think you mentioned that 3 minutes ago.
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, of course it was. Oh, well. At least they're not going to cut up pieces of you, Louie, when you die and put you on display somewhere. But I don't know. I kind of think that would be fitting for Kardashian to go down the history books. Yeah. When I looked at the Kardashian spread, all I saw was a not-so-subtle reincarnation of Bartman imagery that's steeped in centuries of racism, oppression, and misogyny. Yes. Kim Kardashian doesn't realize she's the butt of a very old racial joke. Well, of course not. She doesn't realize most things. She's not... I don't even need to talk on this. You people know, and if you don't know, then stop listening to my show because you're just too damn dumb. The photographer Gode was known for his fascination with the ethnic minorities and the black girls. As he told People magazine in 1979, "I had a jungle fever," he said in an interview. Gode is famous for his photos of his girlfriend, Grace Jones. Yes, someone who actually had talent. On the cover of the book Jungle Fever, Gode poses Jones in a cage next to a raw meat. Yes, maybe that's the segue to Lady Gaga. Yeah. Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga. And don't get me wrong. We're New Yorkers here. We love Lady Gaga. Every dripping bit. Yes. Yes. There's almost an animalistic leaning about the way he describes black women. Even when he's admiring them, supposedly, Telusa said, it's fetishism in its purest form. Okay. Pure. I don't know. These images kind of burn my eyes, so, forgive me if I'm not seeing anything pure. But I can certainly tell you that in usual Kardashian style, because, again, she got famous with what? Sex tape on YouTube. Yes, and we all know from our show yesterday that YouTube is a credible news source because CNN uses them. Yep. Not even TMZ. They don't use YouTube. Screw that. That's not credible. CNN. Oh, yeah, they're all over it. You bet your little, butt. Your little oiled butt. Yeah, whatever. Anywho, the outrage on Twitter is still ensuing, of course, with the Kardashian butt dealio. I don't know, number one, why anybody takes her seriously at all. they're talking about all of these social issues that I don't even think Kim comprehends, let alone understands. But that's just me. Yeah. Anywho, 20 minutes in, we're going to go for our first commercial break. And when we come back, and I know you're going to love this, Louie, vacation breasts.
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
That's right. We'll be right back.
And you're listening to HTLA Radio 1 New York.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions, abundant with rich, fertile soil? What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness, then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it? Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh, always great tasting coffee.
White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum, 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
When you have cable and your picture freezes, you get irritable. When you get irritable, your work suffers. When your work suffers, the wrong man is convicted. When the wrong man is convicted, he has time to think. When he has time to think, he thinks about you a lot. And when he thinks about you a lot, your house explodes. Don't have your house explode. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
I always said shoes are like women. They inspire beautiful music.
But what about these?
Stilettos sound like this.
What does my fragrance inspire?
That's got soul.
My ties are beautiful. They don't need music.
Bringing the stars together. That's the magic of Macy's.
I'd like to buy the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves.
I'd like to teach the world to sing with me.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Yes, you do. You got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York. Yes, of course you do. You're sitting here with Crash and Louie Jesus. We'll call you Louie Jesus. Yeah. And we're shooting it today over some of the best coffee and cigarettes around. I know, it's not PC. We should be vaping. Yeah, vaping is for girls. Thank you. Yeah, so the first segment of the show there, we talked about some new Ebola numbers there out of West Africa. The big 4 more have dropped to bring the death toll to 5,000. There you go. And the 4 dead in the U.S. and the rest are cured, so that's all good there. Yeah. And before the break, we were just about to get to something that Louis is very, very excited about. I got to tell you this. Vacation boobs. yeah, vacation boobs. Yeah, because, you can't go on vacation without a nice new set of boobs, apparently. Yeah.
That was a mistake on my part.
It's a really bad neighborhood.
Yes. So you better be packing the right boobs. That's right, on your visits to wherever you're going. Yes, this just out today. Yes, the new ability. The new ability for women to test drive breast implants. Yes, plastic surgeon Norman Rowe has now invented InstaBreast. Trademark. Copyright. Registered. Thank you. A lunchtime lift offering. Instant breast enlargement that lasts 24 hours. There you go. And, of course, it's from the big city gang. Yes, Dr. Norman is in New York City, and he expects his new augmentation will last 2 to 3 weeks, which would actually work out for people on vacation or special occasions. Now, Rowe isn't revealing the chemical makeup that would be injected into the patients, but he says it's a saline solution with an additive that's already used in medical circles for other reasons. Now, although Dr. Rowe is able to increase women's breast sizes a whole cup to a cup and a half using the InstaBreast procedure, he wanted to prolong the experience, the Medical Daily reports. 24 hours is great, but it's still just 24 hours, he tells ABC. He claims it wouldn't just appeal to women considering bikinis for their next cruise or sending in their RSVP to a wedding or class reunion. He says it will help women who are thinking of getting permanent augmentation to see what the wait will actually feel like and what it'll be like to live with new breasts. Yes, Dr. Rowe says he's been in touch with the FDA and anticipates getting the procedure to market by 2016. Guys might be able to take advantage of it too. Rowe suggests that they could use the procedure to benefit their pecs and calves. One guy who really didn't like breast augmentation, Hugo Chavez. Yeah. Well, hey, isn't that something? Now you can get vacation boobs, Louie. I think that's the winner right there.
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
Well, I know, but you can't tell me you're not looking forward to vacation boobs.
I think it should be short and sweet.
I don't think I've ever heard boobs referred to as short before, but what the heck do I know, right, kids? Oh, and for all you concerned mothers and parents out there, we must tell you that no, of course, no children are harmed in the making of this show. And contrary, I should say, to popular opinion, we don't sit them all in the little recording room there and feed them caffeine. No, we don't do that, do we, kids? See, they don't like that. Actually, I had one parent actually ask if during the summer months we could actually feed their kids some iced caps. So, just help them take the edge off, cool down a little bit.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
So, we won't be doing that then. There we go. All right. So vacation boobs, well, personally, I like boobs, sure. Not ones that are all flat and look like they got ironed and hang down to their knees. No, like nice big perky round ones, as anybody who knows me will certainly attest. But the thing here that kind of gets me is, does anybody remember just last week? Is that too far in your little brains to go back as far as your memory goes to just last week when that New York City girl put on her tight little hip hugger jeans and went strutting around the city and took a little camera crew with her and videoed all the construction workers and other utility workers catcalling her and doing all that bravado anti-feminist stuff. You remember that? What do you think vacation boobs are going to do to that whole thing? Or have you thought about it? But as Kevin Kierstead has so eloquently pointed out to us on his show about said subject last week, the critical thinker put forth the argument that not only is it the way we're wired, but it is not really about the woman at all. It's about male dominance within male groups. Yeah, so stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, you didn't do it, but again,
It's a really bad neighborhood.
Yes, see? So now the neighborhood gets a bad rap because, there's a bunch of hairy, horny men there that just want to jump us. Well, it'll be interesting to see if she goes out and gets some of these vacation boobs. It really would, because, I don't know. I kind of feel like they can't have their cake and eat it too. If you want, you do the makeup every day. You do the lipstick. You do the hair. You tease it up. You do the fingernails and the high heels and I've seen women in this city even go out in cold days with mini skirts on, with literally the bottom hemline being only 2 or 3 inches away from all the goody bits God gave you. What kind of message does that send to? Kind of like the U.S. going around and invading the world to impose what we call democracy and justice because we don't agree with the way other cultures run their countries. Yes, thank you. That's exactly it. No, women, I think, need to clean up their own doorstep first. And with the U.S., I think, get out of all these countries now, bring all the troops home. All your medical personnel in the military that you're paying anyway, think of where they could help out in American hospitals all over the place. Think of the new social services you could bring at absolutely zero cost because the military medical profession is already a cost anyway. Bring them all back here and have them help out at hospitals. Heck, open up some government-run hospitals with those staff in areas that need it. Think about maybe that. That's an idea. And don't tell me about all these police forces all over the country that are claiming that they don't have enough equipment and manpower. No. You could easily double that manpower and police forcing and everything overnight in this country just by utilizing some of your troops for that job. And then what would the world be like here in the USA? There's a good hypothetical for you. But no, getting back to the boobs, because I've always got to get back to the boobs. What about women? This is interesting. This is where I want to hear the chat room chime in. I know I haven't got the phone thing set up yet. I'm working on it. I'm only 16 men here. I can only do 16 things at once. And Mark in the booth there, he doesn't do anything. And Louie's in Mill Bay, so he's not going to be able to help me with anything.
That was a mistake on my part.
I know. You got to get out here. But I think women should be cleaning their own doorstep first, too. I think women as a group, more and more we're hearing that they want to be recognized as this, as that, as the next thing. They all have their groups for different things and different movements and stuff that women, the latest pet peeve that I've got from my realm is women filmmakers. Now they're bitching because they've only got 6% of projects per year that actually go out into the mainstream. All the rest is by male directors like, good old Louie over here.
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
Right. That's the way I feel about it, too. Why should it matter who's behind the camera directing? I don't know. But women, let's look kind of across the board traditionally at women and feminism. Who have been the ones that have been in the public eye bitching and complaining the most? Well, it's the not-so-nice-looking ones who don't attract men easily. And yeah, Gloria Steinem, I would say, qualifies as that, especially with her attitude. Holy crap. What guy would want to be around that for longer than, 2 minutes?
I think it should be short and sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Gloria. Nice to see you again. Have a good day. Bye. Yeah, and that's exactly what I'd say to her if I ever see her in the street. Yes, it is. But, what about that? You don't see all these, Pamela Anderson wannabes, trying to get into Playboy and everything else. You don't see them standing up there on that pedestal bitching and complaining. And why is that? Well, I think if you go back to that kind of critical thinking aspect that Kevin Kierstead keeps pulling out on his shows, I think you might entertain such thoughts as the Barbie dolls don't have to. They get everything. They get waited on hand and foot by men. They get doors opened up for them. You bet they do. They get yes, ma'am, and please and thank you. All those good traditional things that I know and love. Well, you know what? In my book, because of the way I was raised, and yes, got spankings, I treat all women that way. Yes, ma'am. Please and thank you. Because they're humans too. And in my book, they are equal to men, but specifically in the areas that they're expert at, which is nurturing, love, food, feeding, compassion, understanding, all of those facets that we look to women for. So I see them as equal in that. I don't care if they make 70% less in a workplace. I don't think they should be in a workplace. No. Why are you taking the nurturer of your family, the mother to your children, if you have any yet? Why are you taking her out of that home and away from those children and sticking her in some cubicle somewhere at 70% less money and have the woman call that a victory for herself and her kin folk? It's not. I don't know who's brainwashing us here. And I'm sorry, Louie, I'm going off on this tangent. I should be talking about boobs.
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg. I think it should be short and sweet.
All right, well, I'll get off my pedestal now because nobody likes to hear somebody ranting in the coffee shop here, so I'll move on to some other stuff. But, yeah, food for thought there, people. Think about that stuff. Write in, let me know what you think. Again, you can find me on Twitter for the show, Coffee Talk HTLA. That's it. Nice and easy. At Coffee Talk HTLA on the Twitter. You can hit me up there. You can also email good old Keeler over there who doesn't do anything. At least he could have some email. Producer at HTLAradio1.com. And let us know what you think about that whole feminism thing and the boobs thing. And I don't know. I think it's all tied together. I really do.
I lived in Greenwich Village for a while when I first started out as an actor.
Thank you. Yes, you did. I remember that. That was pretty good, too. That was, I think, 6 minutes ago you told us that. Perfect. Thank you. Isn't that great, kids? Come on. Yeah. Let's hear it for the Looster. Yeah. Well, let's move on to a little more serious stuff now. Yes, let's get into foreign relations. Yes, let's see how our military is treated on the other side of the planet. And I guess this just goes back to why they should be bloody well sent back home here and help us out at home, because we got a lot of stuff for them to do. But Navy officials said today no decisions have been made on whether to forgo future port calls in Turkey or restrict personnel there after a group of protesters roughed up 3 Navy sailors in Istanbul. Yes, they did. The officials spoke on condition of anonymity because they weren't authorized to publicly disclose the information. We've enjoyed a strong relationship with Turkey for many years, the Navy said in a statement Wednesday. As NATO allies, we share common interests, and this incident will not diminish that strong relationship. Turkish ports have long been very popular destinations for U.S. Navy ships, and our sailors have enjoyed the warm hospitality that has traditionally been extended. A group of Turkish protesters shouting "Yankee Go Home" attacked 3 sailors yesterday near the USS Ross, a guided missile destroyer that was docked in an inlet of the Bosphorus Strait in the Black Sea. "We find you as murderers, as killers. We want you to get out of our land," one of the protesters told the servicemen, according to video of the incident. 12 Turkish nationalists detained after the attack were released on Thursday, but could face charges for causing insult and injury, Reuters reported, citing local media reports. The group, which carried a banner of left-leaning Youth Association of Turkey, Yes, the YAT, the Youth Association of Turkey. I wonder how long before the intelligence service here in the USA claims that they're a splinter terrorist group.
You filthy American pigs. No longer will my men be forced to bow down to your pantyhose-wearing imperialism. Each week, we will raise pillars of holy fire in each of your cities until our demands are met.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. How long before that now? Yes, and we'll go start airstriking Turkey and boots on the ground and another decade or two or 17 of more military bullshit action. Oh, I said that. Oh, hang on. There we go. Yeah. Anti-American sentiment in Turkey is not widespread, but some Turks accuse the United States of meddling in regional affairs. Pentagon spokesman Army Colonel Steve Warren said the attacks were carried out by what appeared to be thugs on the street. These attackers are a great discredit upon the Turks and the Turkish reputation for hospitality, he said. We enjoy strong relationships with our NATO ally, Turkey. We're confident the Turks will rapidly and effectively investigate the incident. The Pentagon said the sailors who were not injured were back aboard the ship Wednesday following the cancellation of the shore leave. We condemn their disrespectful act, which is in no way tolerable. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs for Turkey's Tanju Bilgic said in a statement, the attack appears to have been inspired by an incident in Iraq in 2003. Oh yeah, really? Really? Here we go. Yes, the U.S. forces detained a Turkish Special Forces unit and led its members away with hoods over their heads, Reuters reported. Okay, so you're trying to tell us what? That the Special Forces guys were out protesting with Youth Turkey and decided to beat up the American... See, Special Forces don't beat up. No, they kill. So you just have 3 dead sailors here in this story, but that's not the deal. It's just 3 idiots... The Turkey youth people, whatever the hell they are, the new terrorist group, yes. Yeah. Well, I can say, I can. So, I will. Being from Canada and spending over 40 years of my entire life in Canada, I can tell you this. The hometown that I come from, Victoria, BC, we've entertained a lot of U.S. Navy, and I've probably been privy to see the worst of them. Yes, I have, because I used to bounce at bars in Victoria, and when the Navy ships came, we'd put on extra bouncing staff, and we'd be ready for anything, because it's the U.S. Navy, and they're no half-assed when it comes to things like physical violence. And when you combine the Navy with booze, yeah, you're pretty sure you're going to get something. Well, I can tell you this. In the 4 or 5 years that I did that job at a number of different bars in Victoria, there was not one incident ever with American Navy sailors in bars, even with booze and very attractive women, because Canada has some of the nicest looking women on the planet. Yeah, bar none. So if they can keep their cool with booze and hot babes in another country, and I've seen that, like I say, firsthand, I can guarantee you that the Navy is always on their best behavior in any port they're visiting. Yeah, I don't think they turn the effing a-hole switch on when they go to Turkey. No. So let's not try to look there. No, because I don't think you're going to find nothing there. What are you drinking, Louie? I'm drinking Sumatra today.
That was a mistake on my part.
Mm-hmm. Well, what are you drinking?
I think it should be short and sweet.
Okay, so you're having an espresso or something?
I lived in Greenwich Village for a while when I first started out as an actor.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, let's hear it for good old Uncle Louie, kids. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Okay, gang, well, it's time for our second commercial break of the hour, so we'll be gone for 2 minutes, and when we come back, we'll get into some Obama stuff going on here that's kind of, I don't know, interesting.
And you're listening to HTLA Radio 1 New York.
Good morning. Welcome to Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where fresh always tastes better. What can I make you this morning?
How about our new flatbread breakfast paninis? Made fresh, just for you, with your favorite breakfast ingredients on maple or multigrain flatbread, then grilled to hot, melted perfection. Just $2.99. Who couldn't warm up to that?
Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where quality really does meet value.
In the studio with us today are millions of Americans. Millions, welcome.
Our pleasure.
We're asking millions of Americans to get their children's eyes examined once a year. All in favor of annual eye exams for children 3 and up, say aye.
Aye.
Say, I care means you care.
I care means you care.
Now say, Sally sells seashells by the seashore.
Sally sells she sells. Oops.
Gotcha.
By the seashore.
A public service message of the American Optometric Association.
When you have cable and can't record all your shows, you feel unhappy. When you feel unhappy, you go to happy hour. When you go to happy hour, you're up for anything. When you're up for anything, you head to a Turkish bathhouse. When you head to a Turkish bathhouse, you meet Charlie Sheen. And when you meet Charlie Sheen, you reenact scenes from Platoon with Charlie Sheen. Don't reenact scenes from Platoon with Charlie Sheen. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
I stood outside assessing the situation. I knew it could be rough in there, but how rough, there was no way to know for sure.
Hey, guys.
Daddy, it's pink!
But hey, a new house, it's a blank canvas, and we got a great one, thanks to a really low mortgage rate from Navy Federal Credit Union.
Pink?
So she's a princess. You got a problem with that?
Hoorah!
Hoorah!
4 million members, 4 million stories. Navy Federal Credit Union.
Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, things go better with Coca-Cola, things go better with Coke. Life is much more fun when you're refreshed.
And Coke refreshes you best.
It's the refreshingest.
Food goes better with, fun goes better with, you go better with Coke.
The real live one puts extra fun in you and everything you do. So things go better with Coca-Cola, things go better with Coke.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Oh, yes, you do. You've got it locked to the talk. There's only one talk, HTLA Radio 1. There's only one. Get it? Only one, Radio 1. 48 degrees, Central Park right now. Still partially cloudy and not snowing and freezing us to death yet. Oh my God, give me a chance. Help me, help me. Oh, and I guess I should put a little disclaimer too about you guys probably wondering what's up with those Coca-Cola commercials, man. I haven't heard those in 30, 40, and 50 years. Well, a little story about that. There is, Louie. You want me to tell them? Yeah, it should be short and sweet, shouldn't it? Yes, it should. Yeah, no, we got those on there. Actually, I must accept full responsibility. Yes, in my little terrorist way. I put those on there. Yes, me. I did it. Mark didn't do it. We can't blame him. I did it. And you're probably asking, well, why'd you do that, Crash? What the hell? Why are you putting on those ancient Coke commercials? Surely you're not getting paid for those. Well, no, we're not getting paid for those. I stuck them on because they're a personal preference of mine. Yes, because growing up, those were some of the happiest and nicest little commercials I ever saw, and I really enjoyed every time they came on TV. So when they gave me the coffee and cigarettes go-ahead for this show, I thought, hey, right there, I'm going to put on some of that cool old traditional stuff, and it's going to be awesome. And on the hour-and-a-half episodes of Coffee and Cigarettes, which, of course, is the Monday and the Friday, the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are just an hour, so we're coming up on 10 minutes away from being done here today. But On, like I said, the Monday to Friday, we do an hour-and-a-half show, and then, of course, you'll hear the Camel Cigarettes commercial from 1941. Yes, and that's also my personal choice, and, yeah, if you don't like it, just there's the door. There you go. Right. So on to some things here. Now, before I get into Obama, I wanted to get into something else kind of interesting in and around the city here today. People are talking. The big banks have been fined $4.25 billion and are undergoing a full inquiry into currency rigging. Yeah. The traders called themselves, quote, the Players and the Three Musketeers as they joined forces and shared information to double-team their clients and manipulate currency rates. See, I've got a real problem with this because Morgan Spurlock and Joe Berlinger and a number of other directors, 20 in total to be exact, have just released We the Economy, which is a short film series that was put out by Spurlock and Berlinger and 18 other directors, including about 6 women, I think, in that group. They put it out, We the Economy. It's all about the stock market and market trading and all this stuff and getting people to understand the economy and getting people to understand the stock markets and how they work and all this good stuff, and saying that, well, yes, there are some criminals that do bad things in the world of trading stocks and bonds and Wall Street and all that good stuff, but that shouldn't dissuade you from investing and taking part in our economy and yada yada yada. So the We the Economy film is supposed to be designed to give viewers the touchy-feely, oh, it's okay to trust our stockbrokers and go start investing and doing things because that's how America works. Well, there's that, but then, of course, there's this. When now, the major banks are being fined ridiculous money. $4.25 billion they've been fined and now are undergoing this forensic inquiry into the currency rigging across the board. I'm sorry, We the Economy, but one has to ask the question again, where's the accountability for my money? We don't get it with the government. We all know that. So what do? Well, 55% of us don't even vote anymore. And the ones that do are so busy infighting amongst themselves, the government just goes ahead and does what they want anyway, and every time they do, there's an outrage, but do we do anything about it? No. Why would we? Right, Louis? I think he's fallen asleep again. It happens. Well, why am I turning that on again? Jesus, I'm sleepy. That's what it is. I'm sleepy. I need more coffee. Yeah, so there you go. Take it for what it is. Check out We the Economy. Coming to a theater near you, or it's out. Yeah, it's out last week. And look for the interview. We have the interview with Joe Berlinger, who took part in that. And we were supposed to have Morgan Spurlock, but somebody dropped the ball on that one, Mark. Let's get a big round of applause for Mark, kids. That's right.
That was a mistake on my part.
Mark is...
It's a really bad neighborhood.
Okay, Louis, it's not a mistake on your part. You didn't hire him. Kate did. President Obama, yes, it is a bad neighborhood. Somewhere, I'm sure. Maybe Detroit. Maybe look into that city. Yeah, not so much here. But yeah, so I'm sorry, but, as much as I appreciate the thought and feeling and whatnot of We the Economy... it's just facts like this that turn around and smack you in the head with a frickin' foam bat that just, dissuade my courage or belief in the American stock and trading system. Yeah. So moving on, what's this about Obama, you say? Well, he aims to lift the global economy and maybe himself. Now, you all know my opinion on Obama and how he thinks he's, dropped the 500 at last count, like $538 trillion U.S. deficit worldwide. He's apparently cut that in half in 6 years, according to him. So I'm really interested to hear in sharing with you what he thinks he's going to do to lift the global economy and indeed his own public opinion. Facing a Republican resurgence that is blocking virtually every policy move President Obama could possibly make, he arrives at the International Economic Meeting in Australia this weekend, hoping to press European and Asian leaders to get their economies moving again. Yes, because he's the man to do that. Clearly, he knows all about it. Wow. And perhaps buoy his own floundering presidency. But allies may be less than open to that message if they question Mr. Obama's ability to deliver his own promises in a reordered Washington. Administration officials understand that the strengthening economic recovery at home could lift the president's approval ratings and his power as he faces a fully Republican Congress for the first time next year. Economic issues were there in some common ground between the White House and Republican lawmakers, particularly trade agreements, a tax code overhaul, and a budget deal. Offer the brightest possibilities for achievements in the president's final 2 years. All three would be far easier to achieve if the economic recovery gathers any steam at all. But faltering growth in Europe and marked slowdowns in Japan and China are the latest dark clouds on a horizon that never seems fully clear for Mr. Obama. We're about to have a meltdown that will spill over into the United States and bring us into a recession, Treasury Secretary Jacob J. Lew said on Wednesday in a telephone interview on his way to the summit meeting of the Group 20, the largest economic powers. On the other hand, the global economy is highly interconnected, and if things are really bad in Europe and Japan, there's a real slowdown in China, and that's the headwind in the United States that we don't need. This weekend, he will be back at it. The world is counting on the U.S. economy to drive the global recovery. Good luck. What, are you kidding me? You might as well count on Mexico's economy. You got a better chance. But the economy cannot prosper broadly relying on the United States to be the importer of first and last resort, nor can it rely on the United States to grow fast enough to make up for weak growth in major world economies. The question is, will they listen, especially in light of Mr. Obama's electoral rebuke this month and the coming Republican Senate? Part of his task to persuade his G20 colleagues is that he will be successful in adopting a pro-growth agenda in the United States, said Dan Price, who was President George Bush's liaison to the G20. And there will be questions put to him as to how the recent elections play to that agenda. Yeah, so, you know, this is kind of like the we the economy thing, isn't it? Yes. No, there's no real problems. I can take care of it. I can handle it all. Well, look at your track record. Well, no. I've paid back over $250 trillion in 6 years. Come on. Yeah. Do you think they'll buy it? I don't know. What do you think, Louis?
That was a mistake on my part.
Okay. Yeah. We'll go with that. I don't know. I don't think he has credibility anywhere anymore. Well, Beyonce and Fergie, I think he's got credibility with those two. And Oprah, I think, what am I saying? Oprah, she's rich enough. She doesn't care. She can think anything she wants, and nobody will question her. She'll sue them into next century. Yeah. Now, in our closing moments here on today's Coffee and Cigarettes, I'd like to kind of turn the ship towards the veterans. And we're always friends of veterans here at HTLA. We always have been, always will be, and not just the American ones. But as I've pointed out earlier this week, that there's a great deal of lack of anything to do with veterans every other day of the year except that day that we all mark the remembrance, isn't there? Well, tours of duty and the price paid at home. Lives of returning Marines in Base Track Live at BAM. What is that? Yeah. There you go. Ashley Bloom and Tyler Lamar star in Base Track Live about Marines returning from Afghanistan. When I was in Afghanistan, all I wanted to do was come back to America. But when I got home to America, there was this empty feeling, and I just wanted to go back to Afghanistan. That sobering statement from a Marine who is at the center of the new show, Base Track Live, attests to the psychological disorientation faced by just about every soldier who have served in wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. The experience of these American service members fighting for their country abroad, and sometimes fighting new battles on the home front when they return, is given riveting life in this production, a powerful, moving work of documentary, theater, and newly restructured and Grand Arts Company run now as before by Ann Hamburger. Yes, the production, which can be seen at the Brooklyn Academy of Music through Saturday, weaves together the dramatized story of the Marine Corps infantryman A.J. Kabai, played by Tyler Lamar, with video testimonials and photography featuring other members of the 1st Battalion, 8th Marine Regiment, which was deployed to Helmand Province in Afghanistan in 2010. The show, created by Edward Ballou and directed by Seth Bockley, was inspired by a web-based project of the same name that embedded journalists with the company and collected a rich trove of interviews with Marines and their wives and girlfriends back home. It also helped keep the service members and their families in communication and created social media forums for them in which they could share their stories. The experiences of soldiers fighting the long wars in Iraq and Afghanistan have been widely documented, of course, but Bass Track Live, adapted by Jason Grote in collaboration with Mr. Bockley and Miss Hamburger, brings a vital intimacy and a compelling visual allure to the journalistic enterprise. Most of us know about the impact of the wars on soldiers, including numerous suicides, but this production brings the gritty, brutal truths alive in ways that nothing I've read or seen before. So this is something, and the reason that I'm bringing it up on the show is not just to do a little Showtime review of the production, no, but I'm bringing it to the attention because I think veterans should be to our attention in America all the time. I know they certainly are in Canada. We don't just celebrate Remembrance Day once a year and then forget about them the rest of the year. We actually have programs in place. We actually care. Employers all across Canada actually make concessions all the time for veterans that are dealing with issues. And they don't just... making concessions in the United States and making concessions in Canada are actually two different things. Yeah, they are, because in Canada, their idea of making concessions isn't just firing the guy and getting somebody, that you can work with. No, that's usually not the case. Here? Yeah, next window. Oh, Louis, you're sleeping still, aren't you? He is. Well, we're done for today, gang. Thanks for stopping by the coffee shop and shooting the breeze with me. It's been fun as always. Stay tuned for the hour-and-a-half show tomorrow coming up, the Big Friday, TGIF. Check out HTLA Radio, the1.com for all our other tasty shows. And, we'll catch you here tomorrow. Thanks, gang.
We are HTLA Radio 1. You will lower your shields and prepare to be boarded. We will add your distinctiveness, your advertisers, and your sponsors to our own. Resistance is futile.